this is an example of my chest, back, and legs workout. So what you'll notice is sometimes your legs are in need of a pump, but your lower back might be sore and there are no machines around. Like, as you can see, I train in a home gym mostly, so I don't have a leg extension machine, a hack squat, leg press, any of these types of things, but they're not necessary, really. Although they can be helpful at times. So I have used them and I do enjoy using them, but if they're not available, free weights are always the best anyway. So what I decided to do today was just to do some one-legged squats with dumbbells. And the nice part about one-legged squats is that the dumbbells, because you're holding them in your hands, there's a low center of gravity. And because of this low center of gravity, it's very easy on your lower back. There's not a lot of stress on there. Your hamstrings and your quads take a beating, that's for sure. But you'll notice as I'm doing the repetitions that they are not long repetitions. I mean, you can stretch down. But the most important thing is to keep the weight on the front leg, not the back. Now, I know it may look like I have some weight on my back leg, but I actually don't, because the dumbbells are in my hand and they're over my front quadricep, and I'm leaning over quite heavily. It's just the camera angles are a little bit hard to get with this lens because the lens is a little bit too long for my garage. But what I'm doing is I'm leaning over to keep the weight over the front leg. You know, the back leg is just for assisting with stability and to keep you in a groove, but you're by no means pushing off that back toe to use your back quadricep. So this is something that is a common mistake for beginners. They'll use both legs in the lunge, not just the front. So the front is where you're keeping the stability on. Now, the nice part about this exercise is that this exercise will help your stability when your legs are bent. So say if you're ice skating, or if you're running or sprinting or changing direction really quickly for football, you'll have a lot of stability on that front leg, and you'll be used to just using one leg at a time from your weight training, not two. So that's why a lot of athletes, when they're tested, they actually are stronger on one leg in comparison to actually doing two-legged movements like squats. If you put them on a one-legged movement like lunges, their strength is through the roof. They can almost lunge as much as they can squat because their one-leg stability is so good. So there are a lot of stability muscles that these athletes are working that you can also bring into your program, and this will accelerate your growth, because there are lots of times, lots of reasons why you may not be able to do a big movement like a squat or a deadlift. But these movements are very easy to keep pumping the blood through the legs and keep that cardiovascular system working as well. Say you want to burn fat, you do higher repetitions with leg workout. But it also keeps you in the gym doing training. So one of my videos I said, you know, pay attention to reality. So today my back was a little tight, so that's why I decided to do some lunges and not to push through and do you know, a big squat workout or anything like that. You'll notice when I'm doing the lunges that I start with my left leg first for a few sets, and then I move to starting with my right leg, or vice versa. So this changes every workout. It just depends on which side of myself I feel weaker on. Sometimes it's my left, sometimes it's my right. Sometimes I feel like my right leg needs to be a little bit more stretched, or a little bit more, it needs to be coordinated a little bit more. Maybe I'm a little bit more out of touch with that part of my body. So I'll concentrate more of my effort on that side. You know, but I'll start with the lunge first and burn that side out. And then of course, I won't have as much cardio capacity or energy to work the other side during that set. So to make sure I don't develop imbalances, I change it up. So one time I'll start with left leg, another time I'll start with right leg. Or if I feel really weak on one side, I'll start with that leg the whole workout. You know, so this is something to consider when you're doing one-legged movements or even one-arm movements. You know, always switch it up, because you are taxing the entire energetic system when you're going into failure on one side. So, you know, if you immediately go to the next side, you're going to be a little bit more tired there, so you won't be able to challenge the muscle as much. Now, you'll notice the first few exercises of chest are a little difficult, because what happens is all your blood goes into your legs, and you're pretty taxed if you push your legs even a little bit. I mean, you get that really deep burn where your legs feel like they're on fire. And then you go to move the movements to the chest, and you'll notice that you're a little bit weaker because your overall nervous system and your energy system is taxed from doing the leg workout first. Now, that is not something to worry about. The strength comes back very quickly. It's just that the reason to work out isn't to always hit your maximum lift or to beat your previous record. Okay, I know a lot of trainers out there say, yeah, you must beat your previous record, you must. But again, that has to do with a recipe that isn't necessarily paying attention to how you feel today. You know, and if you ask any one of these trainers, if they say, if you said to them, I feel injured this day, or I'm sore, or something like that, they probably would encourage you not to push yourself beyond what you feel comfortable. And what I mean by comfort is the comfort in making sure you're not getting an injury, as far as not pushing past a real bad type of pain. You know, you want to push as deep as you can into the good pain, but not past the bad pain. So first and foremost, make sure your groove is there and warm up. So with the dumbbells, I warmed up with just 70 pounders, just this easy dumbbell press for me. It's not hard. Obviously, I can just do it nice and slow. I do the movements nice and slow to make sure everything's kind of working, you know. And then I just go right into the hundreds, because the hundreds, once again, are as high as my dumbbells go in my garage, but they're not hard for me for pressing movements. So I just went into doing 3 sets of around 20 to 25 reps in that range. This gives you a really good pump, and you'll notice after the second set or so, you start to acclimate to that exercise. The blood flow starts to go back to the chest instead of being pooled in the legs. Now for the third exercise, I did chin-ups. Now, again, you know, there are going to be a lot of people that may criticize my form on these chin-ups. Well, one of the reasons is that the lens and the amount of room I have in my garage, it's pretty tough to actually get the right angle to show you exactly what's happening in the movement at times. But the truth is I had a dislocating shoulder. My right shoulder dislocates if I overextend or do something aggressive as far as high over the head movements. Like if I raise my hand over my head and externally rotate, it's tough on the shoulder. But the other thing is, you'll notice when I'm doing my chin-ups, I don't extend all the way down, first of all because of the injury, but second of all, I know a lot of people that when they extend all the way down and they hang on their joints, you know, they might be able to get away with doing this for a period of time, but after a while, they will develop something like golfer's elbow or some sort of shoulder problem. And then one day they're bench pressing or dumbbell pressing and they have a problem with their shoulder and they think it has to do with the pressing movement, but it's not necessarily true. If you're hanging all your body weight onto your tendons and ligaments and your labrum in your shoulder, at some point something is going to snap or something is going to tear. So as you notice when I'm doing these chin-ups, I am keeping all the tension on the lats. I am not even going up high enough to rotate my arms in so that I'm using the internal rotators in the rotator cuff to bring my chin up above the bar. Like people say chin-ups, these are really pull-ups, but I keep the tension on the lat. So you notice I lean back and I stick the chest out. And I'm not worried about bringing the chest to the bar. If my arm only goes down to where my lats feel fully contracted to a certain place, I'm not worried about how high my body is coming. See, it's always about the angle of the joint. And at some point when the angle changes, like say you go from 30 degrees from 45 degrees to 30 degrees, at some point in that angle of changing the range of motion, say the full contraction of the lat, and then at some point it has to transfer the stress to another muscle group. And I don't want it to do that. I want to keep it on the lats so that the lats are actually getting the workout and the back is getting the workout, not the arms, not the internal rotators of the shoulders. And I don't want to be bending and contorting and rotating my shoulders in and causing an injury just for the sake of getting my chin up higher on the bar. Now, if your full intent is to make sure your chin comes as high as possible, I'd recommend doing narrower grip chin-ups, because this allows you to come all the way up and bring the biceps in and stuff, but this is not a full lat movement. If you're coming all the way up over the bar, at some point your biceps and your rear delts will come in. So this is something that happened in the early stages of my training. I learned this because I was doing chin-ups all the way up and all the way down, and I was noticing that my arms were getting a just unbelievable pump, but my lats I couldn't feel for the life of me. I never felt my back. And so through doing this range of motion, I developed a pretty good lat spread, and back was never my weak link, especially width anyway, which is what the pull-up seems to work for. So I hope this helps you out. So this is a standard workout for chest, back, and legs, and then later on tonight I'll do some shoulders and arms. And sometimes I'll mix it up. Sometimes I'll start with shoulders and arms, depending on what my motivation level is that day. And then later on I'll go to the other body parts. So thanks for listening. I'll see you again.